any like ethnic community, I think it's important that you get to like put your mark onto the city. In a way, it's a big FU to like colonialism. We're here to show that we're here and what we love and celebrate our culture. So my name is Viggy, also known as Vignesh. I'm from Leicester originally, but I live in London. And we're in on East Ham High Street. We're at a little joint called Saravanaa Bhavan. People might know it. As like a generation Tamil person, like when my parents first moved here in the 90s, this was like the place to be for like Tamil culture, like Tamil food, just everyday like Tamil life. And like it's something I think they really were craving. It was like very hard to find little pockets of like home for them. We'd come here like every weekend, like down to East Ham from Leicester, like drive down like 2.5 hours. And then like in the evenings we'd go to the temples down here. My mum would go to the cash and carry, like stocking up baskets full of like all the things she couldn't get back in Leicester. We'd always end up here at least one of the days or maybe two of the days we were here. So I feel like this restaurant's like, see, like this just reminds me of my childhood. Looking back on it, I think it taught me a lot. And it was like a way of seeing a lot of like everyday like Tamil like practices and like culture that I kind of didn't really get back in Leicester. I think was like really valuable. When I'm here, it's like I get all like giddy and excited. I'm like always here anyway. I love temples. I just think they're like fucking gorgeous. And there's like one down the high street right by the station, the Mahalakshmi temple. And I just think it's just like so beautiful against the rest of like the high street. London has changed so much so quickly that I actually think from like being here as a kid to now, it probably isn't as Tamil as an area in terms of the people that live around it. There's been so many waves of people coming here, which I think is really beautiful to see. People of like diaspora and like people of color just all like interacting with each other and being in a hot pot, like a melting hot pot.
How do you see culture being practiced and expressed in like the everyday ways in this area particularly?
The practices aren't, they're not like, I wouldn't say they're like mimicking what's in like Sri Lanka or like South India, but it's like their own interpretations of these practices because I think you have to change a lot of things coming into a new country. Diaspora culture is always like a mix of your context and this like longing for the homeland. This like game of like balancing and seeing like where you hit the mark of like kind of encapsulating your identity through your like everyday behaviors. It is home, but it's like it's based on like I think like this desire of home. I thought a lot of Tamil people, it wasn't their choice to migrate. Like the Tamil identity has faced a lot of like hardship through like genocide and like displacement and things. Some people came here because they had no other choice. They're looking to like I guess, rebuild home in a new country. And I think this is a product of that. Like a high street like this and the businesses and the infrastructure the community has built, people want that and need that. A lot of people come to East Ham from other parts of England. There's other big Tamil communities in London, but like this is a place that's very deep, like personal to me. And so I guess that's why I can speak so passionately about it. Any like ethnic community, I think it's important that you get to like put your mark onto the city. In a way, it's a big FU to like colonialism. We're here to show that we're here and what we love and celebrate our culture. Ever since I was a little kid, or like like the drawings I'd make or like the sculptures I'd make would always be in a way connected to this idea of like balancing my I guess like British and like Tamil identity. And like as I got older, I think I started looking at that with my queer identity like entangled with that. I like will happily take any medium and give it a stab. Sculpture, painting. Basically my practice I would say is about like my experience and my identity. The balancing of these like all very particular identities and how they kind of like intersect each other. Or sometimes are harmonious or sometimes kind of like I guess like bash against each other. I love looking at space in like an identity-based situation because I think any form of space is like kind of like drenched in one's identity. I don't know, like the space you like take up in whatever way that is. Like the high street, I think for a lot of people, this high street is a place of belonging, and I think trying to design spaces that could do similar things that like somewhere like here does. Design or architecture only like really kind of like sings or like works properly when like it's all built together with like the people it's for, or like the people it's for are building it. The reason a place like here works is because it's been years and years of trial and error of people like putting their like hearts on an area like this, and that's what designs a good space. It's important, especially for like diaspora, to design with like cultural memory or cultural practices in mind, because I think that's the only way a lot of people can keep like their culture and their identity like moving. But like, I guess you're trying to like find a balance between being British and being Tamil and like being in a white country. I think you don't really have that much time to like really learn about your culture in the same way like someone back home might be able to have that access so easily. Designing with cultural memory can be a great way of like people like walking past things or like looking at things and like learning without really thinking about it, and like those be like memories or icons in their head that later they might realize is like a part of their culture. This is Saravanaa Sangam. It's like kind of like a community center, but also like a slightly like religious center as well. South India and Sri Lanka, there's obviously a lot of snakes, and the red and white basically like physically wars off snakes. Like I think the colors or something basically like signal danger to them, so they like kind of go away. And I guess it's like translated here not because it's like actually there's no snakes here. It's London, but it's like this is like cultural memory, like what I was saying earlier. It's like a way of like this is still iconography that people can look at and immediately like transport themselves to that place or like that memory or that like that feeling of being somewhere. And it has no use here, but it culturally has a use, but it doesn't actually like logistically have a use anymore. But it's nice to see iconography like this.
Can you tell me about your project around the Passmore Edwards building?
So basically, as my like final like major project for my masters at St. Martin's, I really wanted to focus on designing something for the Tamil community that like they don't necessarily like have access to already. Arts and like language and like food are really big parts of like the Tamil identity. There's so many amazing Tamil sangams. Sangam is like the Tamil word for like community or group, and they do amazing work. But I don't think they necessarily have space, like their own like spaces where they can like foster the creative side of like Tamil culture or the arts. I basically came across the Passmore Edwards building, which is like literally a street down from here, basically a vacant building, and my final project basically proposes to turn it into a living cultural centre for the Tamil community in East Ham. By living cultural centre, I mean like somewhere where people can like go to learn about Tamil culture through not just like history and like language, but also through like the learning of craft, arts, traditional forms of cooking, and like things like that.
Why that building specifically?
London has enough. Like, there's no need to be building new buildings in the city. A very great way of like repurposing space. It's basically an Edwardian library. It's quite decorative and quite beautiful. But I really like the idea of using a space that was a bit colonial-esque and basically putting something that's like almost like decolonizing the space.
Could you explain Tamil Futurism to me?
Yeah. So Tamil Futurisms is like a branch of like ethnic futurisms. You might like, if people aren't really familiar with that, it's like things like Afrofuturism, obviously like the Black Panther series. That's like a really good example of like Afrofuturism. And there is South Asian futurisms as quite like a broad category, which has only really started like, I guess, popping off in like the last like 5-10 years, and has an amazing and rich body of work. Within that, Tamil Futurisms is like talking about the Tamil identity and basically imagining, I guess, like better futures, rewriting, I guess, like the last couple hundred years of like awful colonialism and how that's really affected Tamil culture and like the Tamil identity, and like finding a way of like moving on from that.
How do the different parts of your identity speak to each other? So being Tamil, being queer, being British.
I think I get to find out more about my culture through my queer identity as well, because I think being like South Asian and queer, I think it's like tricky. But I think that's also because of a lot of like colonial remnants that have been left in South Asia. Tamil culture, Hindu culture is like inherently so queer. There are so many like queer like deities, queer like artifacts, queer like representations of love and art, like literally that are like thousands of years old. Things like that make me feel really hopeful about the future. So I think in those ways I like when they do intersect and I get to find out these little like tidbits about like different parts of my identity.
What makes a Londoner?
I don't think anything makes a Londoner. I think just being in the city makes you a Londoner. Everybody's just trying to make the city work for themselves. So I think, yeah, that makes you a Londoner.
What's something about living in London that people don't always see?
Even though this is like a massive fucking city, you're always somehow going to see someone you know. And I think that makes it special. I always see like some sort of like character reappearance day to day. And I'm like, oh my God, you exist here. I think London feels quite like enormous and it feels quite lonely at times, but it's nice to know that like you're maybe a lot closer than you think to people you know.
What keeps you here?
Currently that I'm finishing off this fucking masters that's like doing my head in. I guess that's keeping me here because I can't be not here. It's like, where else would I be? Like, I know there's so many other lovely places to live in England, but like I think London's the place, isn't it? Just because I think it's so big, there's always some community or someone you can tap into that you can't really do anywhere else.
What is your message to your fellow Londoners?
Do I make the cut? Can I call myself a Londoner? Please, pretty please.
Well, based on your definition, you can.
Yeah, but I'm asking if by their definition I can as well.
Okay, I think you can. And thank you so much.
Thank you. I feel so honoured.